Hi, you guys. Welcome to Oracles and Ocha. I'm the host, Shakiria, and I am also an intuitive healer. And I just want to do some talking today. For the first episode, I had no plan. Now I have a plan. What I'm going to do first is let's start drinking some tea. Go ahead and get your drink. If you got to get your. It's kind of late in the day for me, so I'm going to be switching to something with a little to no caffeine. I have my Fireside Spice Oolong tea, and it is from the Spice and Tea Exchange in Tennessee. So as you can see, I drink this. I've been trying to save it because I love this. I love this when I need like a cozy, comforting drink, because this week, with all these planets aligning, solar eclipse and meteor shower, whatever, all the celestial events, maybe I might start getting more into astrology. But with all of the events going on, I have been in a space of like saying what I truly feel and like not holding back, but being okay with what happens afterwards. And we got to talk about that. So I have my, what is this? This is like a kind of single style gung fu brewing cup, but I also have like a little strainer in it, so that way I can drink finer teas. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get my tea going. So while this brews, I'm gonna go ahead and light my dragon over here. Most of the time when I light any incense, it is primarily to cleanse and purify the energy of the space. And let's get into the conversation. I have my tablet because I have some stuff that I had to be organized before I come up on camera and talk about it, because I wanted to make sure that I was able to really get this point across, that this conversational topic today in the Ocha part of Oracles and Ocha is about leadership and new life. I pulled some cards on what I should talk about before like getting on camera in my Ask Your Guides deck, which y'all are gonna come to know that is my favorite deck. That is my favorite deck, period. And it's by Sonia Choquette, by the way. Love her. But this whole time, these past few weeks, it's like, wow, kind of led me to this moment. But here we go. So take charge of your life to bring in the things that you want for yourself. That has been the topic of discussion in my lessons that I need to learn, honestly, for the past few months, really. And sometimes in order to do that, you have to shed like old skin. You have to let some people go. You have to let go of the dead weight and make space for what you actually want to bring in. Shift your inner world so your outer world reflects that. That is straight cinnamon. I love it. The Fireside Oolong is pretty much comparable to a chai, but obviously no caffeine in this. Pretty much, but yeah, it's comparable to a chai, but it's a bit sweeter, and I don't put any sugar or anything in it, so it is great for my taste. But I love this tea. Put that over there. As that cools down, we get back to the point. During this period for the last few months, I have been working on releasing what no longer serves me. I've been working on releasing what no longer serves me, whether that be clothes, people, or even jobs. I've been releasing something in order to make room for who I am now. And a few things I learned in the process were about how long I held on to things just because I valued the connection over the quality of the connection. I was afraid of letting go of the connection that I had with things or people because I valued the connection itself rather than the quality of the connection. I was afraid of letting go like a friend or family or the potential of an outfit. When I was invalidated, ignored, or it just didn't fit right, I held on to it because I thought that maybe it would change. It's like I was holding out hope in order for those around me to change into a person that would allow me to truly be myself, when in reality, I just shrunk and it continued to solidify who they were as a person. I never felt like my true self around them. I was always holding back because I knew if I voiced something different, I would be the one that was let go. Another thing that I learned was my inner world really does reflect my outer world. It became so obvious that the universe was telling me to stand up for myself. An example, I would just go out and people would just talk over me, cut me off, or I would just be completely ignored. There were so many incidents and indicators that were occurring in my life, like over the span of 2 weeks, and it constantly repeated. It even made it into my dreams. I've had a bad habit of when things are not necessarily going my way, I just kind of disappear to save face, be peaceful. But that allowed people to feel more confident in their actions, to continue to do what they were doing because I wasn't saying anything. It's kind of like the moment that I had a bit of, dissonance with someone, I would just immediately be like, they can have it. They can have it. They can have it. And I would do this a lot to the point where it's just like, what do I even have to say anymore? And I realized that this was attributing to me not ever like completing my thoughts when I am talking. I look back at the first episode and I realized that like this still shows up. That's why writing things down are just way better for me because it allows me to fully think through something and express it rather than constantly cutting through, because we live in a society where we're doom scrolling all the time and our attention spans are getting shorter. Why are our thoughts just short circuiting? Like we're not even making it to complete the circuit. In this process, I decided to speak up. It was happening so often where I was just like, let me say what I actually want to say, what I feel deep inside, all the things that just need to come out. Let me express it. Let me follow through and actually be myself. Throughout this process, it wasn't perfect. I found myself like apologizing for what I felt, what I was doing. And then the other person was being them unapologetically. Like if what do they say, unstoppable force meets an unmovable object. It was like I was talking to people and they are clearly hurting my feelings. Things are just happening where it's a very clear indicator that they're doing something that does hurt the other person. And I decide to finally express how I feel, and I have to apologize for it because it's an inconvenience to them. That was occurring a decent bit in this process. So this is what leads me to my next point. Quality over quantity. I started being more of who I am and really showing up as who I want to be in this world. And it was becoming very evident to me that if I want true relationships with people, I really do have to be my fullest self. I want an actual connection with someone that is meaningful, reciprocal, and we truly do understand each other, rather than like me constantly pushing aside myself to hold someone else in my life. It just was not working. I started sharing my true opinions, my actual feelings, even if it was hard. Like, I cried at their reactions to this, but at least I can allow more mutually loving relationships into my space. Those relationships with people that I realized that it was no longer worth it to keep. I needed to be myself. I needed to express my piece. I needed to see their reactions. I needed to go through that process to realize that they don't hold a place in my life. They can be them, but I can't be me. And that's how they saw it. And I was just like, you know what? That's not what I want in my space. I am finally ready for friendships, and I'm okay if I have to be alone during that time. I'm okay if I have to be in this waiting period. I'm okay if I have to do some more work on myself and then gather connections. But I would rather it start off like I am fully confident, comfortable in being me, to where the people that relate to me, that attract my energy, are meant to be here. And instead of me trying to force something that does not need to be in my life, like, or I've already learned this lesson, our paths have already, are ready to come to an end. Before, that used to really like stress me out, like, oh, I don't really want this to end, but in reality, I'm okay. We really do come here, we learn our lessons, we fade in, we ebb and flow. That is completely fine. And it took me a while to get there. Shoot, I didn't even want to necessarily do the things I wanted to do in terms of cutting people off, but I knew that it was necessary because I have a path, I have a mission, I have like energy around me that I'm looking to, invite in. And if I can't ever let go of the old, I don't have space for that mutually reciprocal, like, I don't have space for that mutual relationship. I don't have space for it. And I realized I needed to do this for myself. And I needed to see that we can really all be who we truly are. I do not have to change you. But what I will not do is stay somewhere where I can't be myself. And I'm heavy on, if that's a job, if that's a person, if that is like anything, I will not stay somewhere where I cannot be myself, because I'm over that. I've done that. I've worked corporate America. I've done the code switching. I've done the let's put on the mask in order to do this. I know the right things to say in order to get what I want. But it's like, bro, what is the point, right? So as we ease into the next topic of new life, leadership was a very big part of how to get here. I had to take ownership of my life. I had to look at it and be like, what do I really want? I have been setting intention every single day to align with my highest vibrational timeline, and I started realizing that I really do create that. Like, I'm a firm believer we create the different experiences we want. Like, we co-create that with the universe, with source, with God. Like, we have some control here. We have a lot of control here, and it requires you to like look at it, take the necessary actions to do that. And if I'm setting this intention and I keep getting shown these things, so that way I can let it go to jump into that highest vibrational timeline, I'm doing that because I know what's on the other side of this is happiness, is bliss. It is me living the life that I truly want to live. And I can't hold on to things that don't make me happy, that literally disturb my peace, that prevent me from working on stuff when I am trying to build something, when I am building something. A new life. If you guys watched the first episode and got to the spread, new life came out there too. Like this whole time period in like August, it is about a whole new chapter. And this may be because like my birthday is coming up and I love to do like something new for the year. I love to create a new plan, something that is will carry me through to like my next birthday, because I live my years from birthday to birthday, like most of us. So it's just like, what do I want to bring into my space? This is gonna be something exciting for me. I like chapter 26 for me is going to be a movie. I'm still working out what I want the production to even look like. But for the new life, as I close a chapter, there was this ritual that like came to me in a meditation that I needed to do before I officially close it. Something to really connect me and ground me and root me into the new process, and it also allowed me to release all this old. I was doing meditation earlier this morning, and upon waking up and before I got my day started, it was just like, okay, duality. Things do exist. Duality, polarity, however you want to express it, but there are multiple sides to something. It was a positive, negative, highs and lows, resonance and dissonance. Both sides can be true. It does not mean that just because this is positive, the negative doesn't exist. Everything has multiple sides to it, ideally 2 sides. And I gotta say, like, my rising sign is a Gemini, and that explained a lot of stuff for me growing up, because I've always felt like I've had multiple sides to me, and I express those sides in different ways. And when I say I want to be all of myself, I want to be my true self with people, I want to be able to express all of those sides, no hesitation. So the practice that came up was very specific. It involved getting a sheet of paper, a pen, and on one side of the paper writing down all the negative stuff. Everything that I felt like I was holding on to that was just low vibrational energy, whatever scenario that was just stuck in my mind that just really needed to be expressed, just write all of that down. And then on the other side, you write all the positive stuff, like what was I thankful for in this experience, all these things. And once I completed that, I had to read it. So I had to read the negative side 1 time, and I had to read the positive side 2 times. And this was to ingrain the positive energy, as in like we're trying to welcome more positivity. We're acknowledging the negative side, but we're welcoming, embracing the positivity, the lessons we've learned, the things that we're thankful for. That was just like, wow, I could do this. Like when I woke up and I did this meditation and I got this this stream of consciousness that dropped through, I was like, I could do this. This is easy. Like I journal all the time. Like if I really want to clear up something, I will journal it out. And after I read it, it was saying I need to burn it. And I don't necessarily do a lot of burning of things. I kind of just like write in my journal because I love to keep track of my progress. I love to, manage my manage my feelings in one neat little book. But this was just saying to burn it. And I was just like, okay, you burn it with the intention to release the old and invite in something new. So there are a lot of experiences in our life that we forget about. There are a lot of them that we hold on to. But what if there was just like, as you're ready to step into this new chapter, what if it's actually the start of a new book? Like we're actually closing this out and we're starting a new book. And when I say that, it's like everything that you have in this old book, you don't need to take that with you in the new one. This is a completely new series. This is something completely different. this phase of your life that you're going into may require you to be somebody completely different. So it's like releasing that old baggage. Like, yes, acknowledge the hurt, acknowledge that pain, acknowledge what you came from, but really ingrain with yourself the positive energy that you want to use to step forward with. That was coming through, and I was just like, this is a nice like practice, because I'm an intuitive healer as well, so I do a lot of intuition based like healing practices for myself and others. So like I channel energy, I can tap into other people's like energy, and I go based off of what their intuition is telling them to do, because your intuition is your soul. That is your true connection, your guiding principle into this like co-creation with spirit. And a lot of people can't hear their own intuition. And with a practice like this that literally came through in meditation, this was something that I needed to do, and that I'm sharing with y'all. If this is something that may appeal to you, try it out. Because let me talk about when I did it. I did this and I wrote down, hold on, let me drink some tea. I wrote down the negative side first, because I wanted to acknowledge the hurt. Before I even got to this practice, I was sitting down and I was like, you know that feeling where you don't want to like ruin a new notebook, so you don't like want to write nothing too crazy, but I was just like, let's just throw it out there, because what it felt like is this can be writing, this can be scribble scrabble, this can be a picture, whatever needed to be expressed. And I was writing, and it was all about one thing, and it was all resorting from stuff throughout like childhood, through my teenage years, to my adulthood, and it was about this particular thing. And I just felt like if I said this to them, I would not feel bad. Like I would not. And I ended up not in that session completely finishing it. I had to go express myself, but then I came back. Okay, I came back and I did the other side. I wrote out all the positive stuff. And I was just like, whoa. The positive stuff was not as long as the negative side. I'm gonna be completely honest. But the positive stuff made the most impact in my life, and I am truly thankful for it. Like, this is what I mean, like, read that positive side 2 times, because I am so thankful for the lessons that I learned from that experience, because there's, again, both things can be true. There is duality, there is polarization, there is so much light in the dark. And as I wear my yin and yang ring, and then I got to the burning part of the practice. The feelings were flowing through as I was stating my intentions, as I was burning them. I put some lavender in the bowl, and when I touched that lavender, because I put the lavender in there with the intention of stress relief. When I put that lavender in the bowl, I literally felt like I was about to cry. And I was just like, I've already cried over this. And I welcome crying. I love a good like physical release of something, so that way I can truly let it go, because I don't feel like I need to hold things in my body when it's time to let it go. Your body is literally giving you the indicator that this is what we need to do in order to move on. I'm not going to ignore that. So it just felt like, wow, this feels like we're really in this process. We're really in this moment of closing a chapter, writing that last conclusion paragraph. As I lit it on fire, something in my body shifted. It truly felt like an ending. And in that moment, I knew that I get to write this next chapter, this new story. I get to write that. And I get to focus on what I truly want, not how to maneuver around others. This is how I can pave my own way, where I am shining my light everywhere I go, not dimming for anyone. So this whole Ocha portion is about taking charge of what you want in your life, and just watch what happens. Okay? So I'm going to take one more sip, and then we're going to dive into this reading. Whew, that that honestly felt good to express. I'm glad that I got a little bit more information to y'all in terms of this, because I want the Ocha portion to feel like a little chat. I did have to express that. That was very, on my heart, heavy, and I have a lot more to talk about. But yeah, how are y'all doing? Let's get into this. How's your day been going? Is your tea running out? You gotta get some more. Go ahead and grab you some. I'm gonna go ahead and get these cards connected and cleansed. Whew. And I don't have my pendulum. There we go. I also have a collection of pendulum as much as I have a bunch of cards. I'm connecting to my collective, okay? I'm connecting to the collective, the community, this safe space that we're building, creating. Okay, no. Alright, this is yes. And this is no. Okay, I'm connecting to my collective. Connecting these cards, this pendulum, and myself to the collective. Am I connected? Okay, yes, we're connected now. One thing too is getting a bit more specific on it. So let me go ahead and do this. We got the cards connected, we got the pendulum, and I'm connected. If a message needs to come through and be expressed to whoever may be listening, because I have complete faith that this video is going to find whoever it truly needs to find. Okay, so all right, what is the angel number we're starting off this reading with? What is the angel number of the day? Let's see. Okay, ooh, we got a couple of them. So we got Bravery 717. Okay, I want to got Bravery 717. We got 69, accountability. Okay, accountability. And we got 333, supports. Those are some amazing numbers to start off with. The 717 is definitely some significance to my life. I know that for sure. And the conversation we just had in the oracle, the conversation we just had in the Ocha section, just like really brings it all together, that this whole experience does require you to step out your comfort zone and be confident. Like bravery, accountability, seeing your actions, recognizing that others may not be able to take accountability for themselves because they're blinded by it, but knowing what you can do in the situation, and support. You have support in this. So what I've noticed is I have support from spirit. I have support from others who may feel the same, but support wherever it is needed, it is there. So we got our angel numbers to start off with. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this reading, actually, with the Asher guys say. Let's see what we need. What do we need to know for this reading? Like, what does the collective need to know here? Okay, that one definitely wants to come out. Okay. Ooh, okay. Let's go ahead and get this started. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so we got overthinking. And one thing I like to check is, was this meant to come out reverse? Is upright? Okay, this is upright. So we got overthinking and disruption. So overthinking is from the nature spirits and disruptions from the helper guides. And one thing I do want to check on now that those come out is, what are you guys overthinking about, and what is stopping you from, like, what is blocking you from reaching this, next phase of your life? That has been that, and it may be you're just in your mind about a lot of stuff, and you don't recognize that you do have the support on the other side to reach it. So what area are they experiencing this overthinking and disruption in? What areas are they experiencing this in? Okay. Cool. All right. So the areas is change. You're overthinking a move that you're looking to make, and teamwork. Ooh. Okay, so this teamwork card, in terms of what's blocking you, is you feel alone in this, and I can see why support came out as an angel number to remind you that you're actually not alone. And the teamwork card could identify What I'm feeling for someone, it is definitely like a work situation where there is someone that is not helping you out with something, so you're pretty much doing the work by yourself. But this case is what's currently blocking you, and it's like, hey, I'm doing all of this and I need your help, and they're just like, you got it, you do it yourself. That is partially what this feels like. Ooh. Okay, so this is definitely restricting y'all from true growth. So what I want to say about it is, life is gonna come and go whether you wanted to or not. This change that you are not enacting on because you're in your head, do something, do a small little action towards it, get it out on paper, expressing whatever needs to happen, like whatever your big idea is, take it in a small, small little bite, small little cookie sized piece instead of a cake. And the teamwork portion, like for the people in your life that is not supporting you, how can you build a life that does not involve them? And this is something that I'm doing. Like, I've done this stuff. I've gained my independence, so to speak, from certain scenarios where I realized if I constantly depended on this person, I would say stuck where I'm at. But how can you build a life where you don't need them? And I don't want you to overthink on it, but I do want you to like actually sit with it and write out what would actually make you happy. A lot of people don't feel like they can live their life to the fullest. And why do you feel like you're not deserving of that? That's a question that came through. Why do you feel like you're not deserving of living your life to the fullest? And this, I have to get like a resolution energy here. Like, what can I do to resolve this blocks, that these overthinking, this disruption? What can I do to resolve this? Okay, abundance. So joy guides. So abundance here, it's going to be a mindset shift. That's what I feel for a lot of you guys. It is going to be a mindset shift into recognizing what is truly available, because this world is actually very vast. It is very infinite. In complete honesty, there is nothing that you want that is really too far-fetched. If you realize that you want $10,000, for example, that is completely possible. And you know how it's possible? There are literally people out there that get it. So what type of person you got to be to do that? And shifting it into being able to see that there's no real need for lack. Lack just continues to keep you stuck. There's a lot of programming that keeps us in lack, and you might not even realize it because you're just like, oh, I like this, but no, it's constantly showing you why you can't have something instead of showing you how you can. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to what you're watching, because this plays a big factor into it, because what you consume is what you are. Whether it comes from food, whether it comes from music, TV, reading, social media, what you consume is what you are and what comes into fruition for your life. Like, if you're always talking bad about like men, for example, because again, women in the community do have a bad tendency to talk about them like that, and they have the same for us. But if you're constantly talking bad about that, and you're constantly consuming content about that, constantly listening to music about that, reading about that, every experience you have about that, look at your relationships in your life. That'll tell you exactly what you manifested into your life. You literally consume nothing but bad content, and the only thing that can come from that is bad content, bad creations, and so to speak, because I'm still of the belief that the universe doesn't care what you do. It is it is what it is. But we as people conceptualize things as good or bad, like I was talking about duality, positive, negative, polarization, and all that stuff. So look at that. Actually take inventory of that. I think in the last reading I talked about taking inventory of what's going on to be able to change it. Start changing what you're consuming. It is so easy for us to get on our phones and type in what we are looking for, like what we want. When I wanted to learn networking, guess what I did? How to become a network engineer. What is networking? I went to class, I went to events, I talked to people. I figured out how to get myself in it by being in those spaces, consuming that content. Same for this stuff. I wanted to channel. I love channeling. I was awoken by like the next level soul, but I that literally something clicked in me when I listened to one of the podcasts, and it was like everything just opened up for me, and I started looking back on like my dreams and all my stuff that I've gone throughout life, and I was like, I've always had these gifts, but it took like a reminder. It took for me to consume some content that showed me that this was possible. It took some time to change my awareness and be around things that welcome this type of energy, that welcome these readings, that welcome me to, tap into my psychic gifts, rather than things that kept telling me that I couldn't. So abundance is a mindset. It really is a mindset. Let's see what angel is here helping you throughout this experience to, releasing these negative vibrations to tap into true abundance. Which angel is here to assist us? Ooh, that was a lot, okay? That was a lot. Ooh, this is just showing a lot of angels on your side. But what do we have? We have Haniel. Let me get these cards. Woo. Okay, so we got Haniel, and her energy is passion and poise. Her energy really does revolve around following through with what you want in your life, and she brings you so much joy in doing so. And she allows you to tap into her energy and to really show up as yourself, to show up and follow your passions, to make way for you to follow your passions. That is one of the things I love about her energy, because when I first started doing this, I was tapping more into Haniel's energy because she was opening doors, or we were co-creating and opening doors together. Like, it was very obvious that I was following my passion. If you guys follow Bashar's teachings, like, following your excitement is one of the things that really leads to living a life of synchronicity and enjoyment. This angel is here. And I feel like the support card, I don't want that to go like over someone's head. You have support. You're not in this life alone. If you are able to really tap in with your intuition, with your connection to source, there's so many things that you can do without the necessary physical need of the people in your life. And I feel like that is something that you might want to just explore. So I have my healing inner child spread out because it felt like this needed to come up today. Let's see what needs to be healed within the collective's inner child. What areas we need to work through? Okay. Ooh, soul. I'm getting, you guys have to connect with your soul. You have to connect with your intuition. You have to connect with source, because that lets you know that you're not alone. That proves to you that you're not alone. It gives you such undeniable proof when you connect deeply with your soul. Because your soul is your true essence. Like, yes, these physical bodies, our ego, mind. Our soul is our light. Our soul is us. Our soul is our personality. And connecting with your soul puts you in the situations where you're learning your lessons that you may agree to come down here and learn. But it also lets you know that you're eternal, and there's no need to, if you feel behind, if someone feels behind, this is for you. There's no need to rush through life. And if you also are putting yourself aside, this one's for you. There's no need to stay in stuck situations, because there's always going to be beauty on the other side of it once you learn that lesson and move on. And there's beauty in so much of this. And that's really the reading. That is the reading. I thank you guys so much for sitting through with the oracles and Ocha. And I'm Shakiria. I'm an intuitive healer. I'm here to assist you and your pets and your circle, your soul, to really align with your highest vibrational path, and to connect deeper with yourself, so that way you can really embrace the duality of life, the polarization of life. Like, you can really embrace the moments that you have and understand there are gonna be multiple sides to it, and all can be true, and you can look at it from a big picture perspective and see that this is all part of your path. You're exactly where you need to be right now, and you can create your next step. You can wake up and decide exactly what you want to do and watch doors open for you. Thank you for tuning in. Catch me on the next episode.